as with every other England football fan watching the penalty shootout the other night, I was really impressed with how composed and assured the England players were when it came to taking their penalties. And I think that really is a testament to the approach taken by Gareth Southgate and his coaches in terms of preparing the players for the World Cup and what to expect. It's been really important, I think, that the FA chose to employ a psychologist, Pippa Grange, who has been working in particular on psychological resilience and helping the players to be able to cope with and excel in pressurised environments. And one of the key things that seemed to be mentioned quite a lot when it came to interviews, both before and after the game with Colombia, was this idea of owning the process, players owning the process. And that was particularly true and particularly emphasised when it came to taking penalties in the penalty shootout. Now, what do we actually mean by owning the process? Well, it relates to the skill of taking a penalty. So experts often talk about you can't prepare for, you can't replicate the environment in which the penalty shootout took place. And that's true. You can't replicate a stadium full of 50, 60, 70,000 people all shouting and the emotion that comes with it. But what you can do is prepare really effectively for the skill that you're about to execute. So the first step that you have to do is to make sure that you've got the skills, that you've practiced the skills, and that you can put the ball where you want to put it. So it's really encouraging to hear England talk about the fact they've been practicing penalties a lot. If you can put the ball in the top corner, then the goalkeeper is not going to get there. If you put it in the bottom corner, the goalkeeper's less likely to get there. Obviously, they're higher risk shots because there's a smaller degree of error. So like with the Colombian player who hit the crossbar, he was going for the high top corner and he managed to hit the crossbar. But if you've got the skills, you've got a chance. The second thing then is being able to give yourself the ability to just execute your skills. There are lots of things that get in the way when it comes to performing under pressure, lots of thoughts in your head, lots of environmental factors, but you need to shut all of those things out. So what players develop, or really effective players and sports performers develop, are things called pre-performance routines. So it's things that they systematically do prior to the execution of this skill, so kicking the ball, in order to give them control. So Harry Kane taking the penalty in the game is a great example of that for him his routine started when he was placing the ball on the penalty spot. So he held on to the ball while all of the discussions with the referee were going on and the Colombian players were trying to waste time. And once everything had settled down, once the goalkeeper was on the line, he put the ball down, he went back to his mark, he prepared to take the kick, then he executed the skills. Now, good pre-performance routines have tasks, so things that you do, so putting the ball down, walking back to the spot, looking at the goal, taking a deep breath, running in, kicking the ball. But they also have a mental component as well. There's something that you think about while you're doing those things. Now, it's important not to think about the mechanics of the skill. Something that's called paralysis by analysis, that when you're really good at skills, you don't have to think about them. Trying to think about the skill makes it more difficult to execute. So you don't focus on the skill, but you have something to occupy your mind, because you've got a limited capacity for attention. So if you're deliberately focusing on something, all of those other things, intrusive thoughts, the crowd, all of those things can be shut out. So by having a clear routine that you've practiced, you almost end up in your own bubble that you can perform. It's something that anyone who's been really good at those specific skills over time, you'll see them do. Cristiano Ronaldo in the World Cup, watching when he's taking a penalty or when he's taking a free kick, you can almost see the thought process. Top players, David Beckham in the past, Johnny Wilkinson, all developed effective pre-performance routines. And it's fantastic to see that the England football team have adopted this approach across the board for their players to make sure they've got the skills and they've got a clear routine, so then what they do, when they do it, and how they do it, and crucially, they've got something to occupy their mind as well, so they can just allow the skill to just happen, because that's the thing that they're just experts in. Now, hopefully, if we end up having to take penalties in the future, in the semi-final and hopefully final, then these lessons will be able to apply there as well to ensure that we, again, can be really effective when it comes to the penalty shootout.